What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvice.com, bringing them the bacon, NBA DFS video. It is Wednesday. It is January 22nd. We are back with another video. If you've never been here before and you're new to the channel, welcome. We have giveaways every single video. Listen up, here's how to win. Firstly, you got to be a YouTube subscriber. You got to leave a comment on this video for the comment picker to pick you up. And you got to get at least a like on the video. If you do all of those and we get at least 50 likes on the video, you will have a chance to win a free week of FTA Plus. 100 likes on the video, so 50 likes on the video equals a weekly pass. 100 likes on the video equals a monthly pass. 150 likes, a yearly pass. 200 or more likes on the video, a lifetime pass. Now, that is a pass for every single sport. So current sports, NBA, NFL for one more week. You got PGA, you got MMA, you got NASCAR, and then MLB will start up. We actually have, if I saw correctly, we have spring training games in less than a month now, which is wild. Very excited about that. Second way to win, somewhere in this video there'll be a keyword or key phrase. Be on the lookout for it, listen for it, type it in, you get it in there, and you have a chance at a free week of FTA Plus. Now, we are going to have the giveaways from yesterday's video, which we did hit 50 likes. We had 458 views, 35 comments, 66 likes. So we're going to have two giveaways there, one for the keyword and one for hitting a minimum of 50 likes. So be on the lookout for that. I will tell you, do not spam comments, like 10 comments. I know you guys want to win. Do not spam that many comments. Just a couple comments on the video with the keyword in there helps out. Because if you start spamming, they could flag the videos or they could flag your YouTube account for spam. So just be on the lookout for that. So that being said, if you've never been here before, anytime we have at least 5 games on the slate, we give you 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value picks at each position with our early projections. So we've already done 10,000 simulations this morning. We're going to give you the early projections through there. Then what I tell you, usually check the website later on in the afternoon. So we have our chalk plays, we have fantasy points allowed by position, we got simulations, we do 20,000 simulations a day, we have projections both FanDuel and DraftKings, and we have a cheat sheet with plays at each position and a couple of lineups to get you started with. So without further ado, we are going to look at early simulations, early projections. So looking at the top here, SGA at point guard, about 57 to 60 fantasy point range, 27th DVP. LaMelo Ball against Memphis, 56 to 60 range, 14th DVP. And then Cade Cunningham, 49 to 52 fantasy points, going up against Atlanta with the 28th DVP there. Now, looking at mid-tier, we've got Donovan Mitchell against Houston, about 40 fantasy points, 16th DVP. CJ McCollum against Milwaukee, 36 to 40 fantasy point range, 25th DVP. And then D'Angelo Russell against Phoenix, 29 to 32 fantasy points, 22nd DVP in his matchup there. Then we go down and we find some value. Now, people have asked me, how do I find value? What are the value I look at? I'm usually on DraftKings, I'm looking at least 5K or under and around 5 times value. So it really just depends. It depends on the matchup too. And with the value plays, they will open up and change throughout the day, because, players are ruled questionable, or some are already ruled out, which helps the simulations. But the ones that are questionable and then are ruled out a couple hours before tip-off, that is when the simulations really come into effect. I did forget to mention, at the end of the video too, before we do the giveaway, we're going to build a DraftKings lineup, a FanDuel lineup, and a Yahoo Sports lineup. So looking at a little bit of value here at point guard, Cason Wallace against Utah, 27 DVP, about 25 to 28 fantasy points. We've got Alex Caruso, about 18 to 22 against Utah, 27 DVP. And then Jose Alvarado against Milwaukee, 18 to 22 as well. We're looking at about 25th DVP right there. Moving to shooting guard. Looking at shooting guard, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. Not the best DVP for him, so 6 DVP against Dallas, about 46 to 50 fantasy points. Should be hopefully a shootout, an over-under of 217.5, with Minnesota having 110 team point total, with being the favorite here, Dallas having a 107.5. I like this matchup here. I think Anthony Edwards makes a lot of sense if you're paying up for shooting guard. So next, I've got Devin Booker right around 44 to 48 fantasy points going up against Brooklyn, 11th DVP there. Kyrie Irving in the flip side of that Anthony Edwards matchup, 13th DVP against Minnesota, about 43 to 45 fantasy points. Coming down and trying to find some sort of value, Amen Thompson against Cleveland, not the best matchup, but I got him about 39 fantasy points. CJ McCollum against Milwaukee, 25th DVP, so a good matchup there, about 36 to 40. And then Dyson Daniels against Detroit, not the best matchup, but around 32 to 33 fantasy point range. And then trying to find some sort of value down here. Early values, we'll see. But we got Luke Kennard against Charlotte, 22 to 25 with 24th DVP. Jalen Wells against Charlotte, 22 fantasy points. Nick Smith is interesting to me. He's got back-to-back 30-plus fantasy point games. He is on Charlotte against Memphis, 23rd DVP, about 21 to 24 fantasy points. But Nick Smith is only 3,200. So if you look at him, he's one of my favorite value plays today. He's got to get the minutes, so that's the problem. Or back-to-back 24-plus fantasy points. He had 30 minutes against Dallas. He had 26 minutes there. Brandon Miller being out, Smith looks to be, currently the starter. So if he can get 25-plus minutes in this game, I don't mind that whatsoever. But again, with these value plays, they don't always work out. It's dependent on the minutes. Hopefully we get some minutes out of Nick Smith. Moving to the small forward, you've got Trey Murphy at the top, 41 to 45 fantasy point range, 16th DVP against Milwaukee. We got Cameron Johnson against Phoenix, not the best DVP matchup, 5th there, but we got about 30 fantasy points out of him. And then Jaden McDaniels against Dallas, 28 to 32 fantasy point range. Not a ton of mid-tier picks at small forward, I'm not going to lie. We got, let's see, he doesn't have a tag, does he? No, okay. No injury tag, nothing. We got DeAndre Hunter against Detroit, 30th DVP, so the best matchup for him, about 28 to 32. Bradley Beal is questionable. A lot of questionable guys in the small forward position. A lot of questionable guys. A lot. So is Beal. Yeah, so Beal, that's the problem. The minutes are there, but he's coming off the bench. He's not even starting. I've got him projected at 26 fantasy points, but if he's not a starter, I don't really like that. Aaron Wiggins, or Klay Thompson, also questionable against Minnesota, but if he plays, about 25 fantasy points. And then trying to find some value. So many guys are questionable at this small forward position, especially low, down below. Aaron Wiggins against Utah, 24 fantasy points. Lou Dort against Utah, 27 DVP, about 24 as well, depending on which one of those guys get the minutes. And then we come down the list. Tim Hardaway Jr. might get some run here against Atlanta, 28 DVP, about 21 to 24 fantasy points. But again, when they're value guys coming off the bench, it really is dependent on if they're going to get any sort of run in the minutes, and it'll depend on the game log, the pace of play, just how the game's going too. So when you're paying down that far, be wary of that. So we have Giannis, who's questionable. I'm very curious. He's probable. Okay, he'll be moved to probable. I've got him projected right around 58 to 62 fantasy points against New Orleans, 17th DVP. Kevin Durant, about 45 fantasy points against Brooklyn, against one of his former teams, 23rd DVP. And then Jaren Jackson Jr., Triple J, JJJ, going up against Charlotte, 22nd DVP, 43 to 45 fantasy point range. Is Zion going to play or no? He's got a tummy ache, a boo-boo. Regardless, don't trust him enough. Go down the list a little bit. Julius Randle against Dallas, 19th DVP, 39 fantasy points. Miles Bridges against Memphis, 21st DVP, 38 to 40 fantasy points. PJ Washington, 26 DVP against Minnesota, 33 to 35 fantasy points. Mid-tier, not a ton. Some positions have a lot of mid-tier options. Some just you pay up a lot or you have value. Tobias Harris against Atlanta, 27 DVP, 31 fantasy points. John Collins, questionable. Let's see if John Collins is going to play. He's missed 8 games. If he's in, he plays, but he's missed 8 games, so we're off of him. Nas Reed against Dallas, 19 DVP, 30. Right around 30 fantasy points. Bobby Portis, 17 DVP, 27 fantasy points. Paying down at this position, if you're looking. You got Oscar Thompson against Atlanta. If he gets the minutes, 13 DVP, 20 fantasy points. Dean Wade against Houston, not the best matchup, first DVP, so the worst matchup for him, about 19 fantasy points, but he's 3,800, so he could pay off his value a little bit. And then Cam Whitmore against Cleveland, 11 DVP, about 18 to 21 fantasy points. Now with Whitmore, it's the minutes. He's gotten 20 plus in 5 straight games. The fantasy points have been there as well. Again, 4,100, looking right around 4.5 to 5 times value. So if you can get those minutes, perfect there. But I think my favorite value play of the day is Nick Smith. And then center position. We got Alperin here. Again, I don't remember how to say his name fully, but he's at the top if you don't go with Giannis. The problem, he's coming off a very bad game against Detroit. A very bad game. I don't know what's going on. We got him projected right around 45 fantasy points. But against Cleveland, not the best matchup. 5th DVP. We got Mark Williams against Memphis, 17th DVP, about 42 fantasy points. You've got Jarrett Allen, 38 fantasy points against Houston. Mid-tier at center position, not a ton of mid-tier. Walker Kessler, about 33 fantasy points, 6th DVP. Jalen Duren against Atlanta, 8th DVP, 31 fantasy points. Rudy Gobert, be a sneaky, cheaper option against Dallas. 25th DVP, about 32 fantasy points at 54. Almost 6 times value. I don't mind that whatsoever. And then if we're trying to find some value, looking at this, Jalen Williams against Utah, 30th DVP, so the best matchup for him. 28 to 30 fantasy points. Brook Lopez against New Orleans, 21st DVP, about 28 fantasy points. And then Nick Claxton against Phoenix, 24th DVP, about 27 to 30 fantasy points out of him. So there you have it. Those are some of the value plays, some of the projections. If you want to see all of them, they will be on the website. Go check out fantasyteamadvisors.com. Under the NBA tab, we've got it all there for you. If you have not already, and depending on when you watch this video, we have the Farmers Insurance Open. I broke down the video. The article is on the website, but I broke down the Farmers Insurance. It starts today. Instead of tomorrow, it starts today. So if you guys are interested in that, go check out that video. We broke down a handful of plays we like. We look at the history that they have on the course, and then we build some lineups there as well. So I will link that at the end of this video as well. The key phrase of the day, since it's Wednesday, is hump day. So get that key phrase in there. Do not over spam the comment section. Do not over spam it. I'll put it that way. And then let's build a DraftKings lineup. I think today's the day we pay up for SGA. That rhymed. I didn't mean it to, but it did. And again, these are early lineups. We have so many players that are questionable or game time decisions, or maybe have an illness, that the value will update and open up. So these are early lineups that can and will change. Again, I really love Nick Smith here at 3,200. We got Aaron Wiggins at 4,300. And then we got Jarrett Allen at 68 to round out the utility spot in our DraftKings lineup. Now, again, these will change throughout the day. These are just early projections. So all those guys, nobody has a questionable tag. Probably all good to go, which is exactly what we want in this situation. So we'll lock that lineup in there. Pause the video because we'll lock the lineup in for FanDuel. But we got LaMelo Ball at the top. We've got Nick Smith there at shooting guard. And then we got Jalen Williams down here at the center position. So pause the video. Check it out. Enter that. And then some of you do play Yahoo. Not a ton. But we paid up for SGA there. We got Nick Smith there. We've got Spencer Dinwiddie. We paid. This is more of a boomer bust lineup. We paid at some positions, and then we pay down for Nick Smith at $11. Spencer Dinwiddie at $19. You've got a $20 Lou Dort, so $20 Malik Beasley. So more of a balanced lineup, but we paid up for SGA at 54, so you had to find some sort of value there. So we'll lock that lineup in there as well. And now we'll have the 2 giveaways. So even if the keyword is in this first person's name, it's only for getting 50 likes. Then we'll re-roll it for that keyword from yesterday. So we will start. The winner, because we got 50 likes, is David Kvetsky. Now, the keyword was sunflower seeds yesterday, but we are going to re-roll this, so you do have another chance to win. So David, congratulations. Email me dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1 at gmail.com. Give me a username and a password and an email you would like, if you do not already have one. So email me that, and we'll get you set up for your free week. Now, we're going to pick another winner. There is a 1 in 30 chance that sunflower seeds is picked again from David. Now, that was the keyword. Let's see who the winner for the keyword for a free week is. Nick Sarnelli, 8293. Congratulations, both of you. Email me if you guys have an account on the site. Let me know. If you do not, hit me up with that username, email, and password you would like. We'll get you set up, and let's have some fun. So again, make sure you check out all of the content on the website. Make sure you check out the video that I'm going to put right here for breaking down the Farmers Open, which starts today. Good luck to everybody today. Let's have a great Wednesday. Hopefully it's warmer than it was yesterday for you. Good luck, and as always, let's bring up some bacon. Peace.